Today we're going to look at a brief history of GTA as a series in preparation for GTA 6. So to start with, GTA wasn't always known under that name when development first started. On the first GTA game, it was supposed to be called Race and Chase. In that iteration of the game, you as the player would be a cop chasing criminals. However, that idea was quickly considered dull and boring. So instead, the idea of you playing as a criminal was born. And the goal from the beginning was for the player to play the game however they wanted, which has certainly stayed a more consistent theme than not, even almost 30 years after the first game. For now, let's go to 1997, when the first GTA game was released, known simply as Grand Theft Auto. It was released in November of that year for MS-DOS and Windows. It was later ported to the original PlayStation and the Game Boy Color in 1999. That same year, GTA 2 was released for Windows, and that same year it also received ports for PlayStation, Dreamcast, and Game Boy Color. Sometime later, we got the titles known as expansions, and those were GTA London 1969 and GTA London 1961, with the latter of the two being available only for PC. And you want to guess what the size of this game was? A whole 7 megabytes, which is incredibly funny when you compare it to GTA 5, which nowadays that game is over 100 gigabytes. Moving on to an era considered the golden era of GTA by many, and that is the PlayStation 2 era. Now, sometime before 2001, Take-Two Interactive, which is Rockstar's parent company, decided to make a deal with Sony where some of their titles would be PlayStation 2 exclusives for a certain amount of time. And thus we get to GTA 3 and a phenomenon in the GTA community known as the start of the 3D universe. This game came out in 2001 and it was insane for its time. The game had a fair amount of controversy, and while GTA 1 also faced some of the controversy with people calling it a murder simulator, which I can't help but laugh at whenever I hear it. I just don't know why, I can't help it. But GTA 3 took controversy to a level GTA 1 was never even close to reaching, with its more realistic crime, world design, and the fact that it was released a month after 9/11. Moving on to a game myself and many others have a special place for, and that is GTA Vice City, my personal favorite GTA ever made, which came out just a year after GTA 3 in 2002. GTA Vice City was actually meant to release originally as an expansion to GTA 3, but don't quote me on this. I do think that a few years ago I heard somewhere that it never happened due to the hardware limitations of the PlayStation 2, which does make sense definitely, but in any case, GTA Vice City put us in the mid-1980s in fictional Miami and was a decent step up compared to GTA 3, as this time we actually for the first time had a speaking main character, Tommy Vercetti, who was voiced by the late Ray Liotta, making the story way easier to get invested in when compared to GTA 3. Oh, and there's also everyone's favorite activity, and that is mowing down thousands of NPCs with a chainsaw. And don't lie to me, you sick bastard. I've done this, you've done this. Let's just not try to lie about this, okay? Also, if you're enjoying the video right now, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Feel free to check out the channel memberships if you want to help support the channel in another way, and to check out the second channel where the Kingdom Hearts content is nowadays. All of that is going to be linked in the description. Moving on to 2004, and the next game in line was GTA Advance. This game takes place in Liberty City and follows a young criminal Mike in the year 2000, and he gets wrapped up into gang warfare, organized crime, things like that. Interestingly enough, this game features a top-down perspective, kind of like GTA 1 and GTA 2, and that was likely the case due to the hardware limitations of that platform that the game released on, and that was Game Boy Advance. Moving on to probably one of the most beloved GTA games ever made, and while I prefer Vice City's setting just a bit more, there's no doubt that San Andreas is one of the best games ever made. Released also for the PS2 in October of 2004, on the same day as GTA Advance, funnily enough. It featured an interesting story, a bit more fleshed out gameplay compared to its predecessors, and with the game being fresh in my mind right now, cause as of right now I am going through the game every single Friday and Saturday on stream at 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern time, which you should absolutely check out. I promise this the last part of the video, this game is truly an experience that everyone needs to have at some point in their life. If you don't, you're simply missing out. However, this game also has its fair share of controversy, just like GTA 1 and GTA 3 did, as it featured a hidden minigame known as Hot Coffee, which I won't be going into detail about in fear of getting demonetized. But in essence, shit went down as Rockstar had to pull the game off shelves, censor it, and they still got sued, and this cost their parent company Take-Two millions of dollars. But despite all that, the game remains a very beloved GTA installment and somewhat a time capsule to fictional LA in the year of 1992. The next year, in 2005, we got GTA Liberty City Stories. This game was released on the PS2 and the PSP, with phone ports for this game appearing over 10 years later. This game is a prequel to GTA 3, being set in Liberty City again in the year of 1998, and it features some returning characters from GTA 3. However, this time we follow the story of Tony Cipriani, who is a member of the Leone crime family, and his rise through its ranks. Only a year later, we get the game known as GTA Vice City Stories. This game was another PSP title, and it was the last game in the 3D universe. And also, fun fact, even though it is the last game in the 3D universe, it is the first game in the 3D universe chronologically, being set in 1984, just 2 years before GTA Vice City. It's just like Liberty City Stories, a prequel. This one features some characters, of course, returning from GTA Vice City. However, this time we follow the older brother of Lance Vance, Victor, and his time after getting kicked out of the army and rising up the ranks of the Vice City drug trade. Victor, due to Lance convincing him even after the game's events, despite saying that he wouldn't, stays in the drug trade, which eventually leads to his death in 1986 in the opening scene of GTA Vice City. Moving on to GTA 4, this is one of, if not the darkest GTA storylines ever made. Released in 2008 for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and the PC, of course, which that port we're not going to talk about. This game follows the story of Niko Bellic, a Serbian guy who fought in a war at a very young age and is now trying to turn his life around by moving to Liberty City, but he soon gets back to his old ways of killing just to survive and also to save his cousin, who is constantly getting in trouble with various loan sharks and gangsters. This game, like I said, is one of the darkest storylines by Rockstar, and the dark and gloomy setting of fictional New York in the late 2000s definitely helps enhance just that. GTA 4 is also where we get to talk about another controversy, as a lawyer tried to block its release, saying that it would initiate real-life violence. However, we all know that that never happened, and that's utter bullshit. But GTA 4 also got two expansions known as GTA The Ballad of Gay Tony and GTA The Lost and Damned, which told stories about two different characters that would from time to time cross paths with the main game's protagonist, and they were released just a year later in 2009. Okay, so it's me from the future, and I just realized that I completely forgot to talk about a little game called the GTA Chinatown Wars. Now, briefly we'll go over this one because there's not much to it. This game was released over multiple handheld platforms such as the Nintendo DS, the PSP, and even mobile phones. It was released at a similar time to GTA episodes from Liberty City. I believe it was only a couple months after those games, and it was released on handheld platforms, which again probably contributed to the lesser popularity of this game. It is just like GTA 4 set in Liberty City, however it's in the year 2009, in which GTA 4 was in 2008, of course. It tells a story of Guang Li, who is a son of the Triad boss in Liberty City, and the whole game centers around him looking for the truth behind his father's death. Now it's time to move on to a game I will never ever forget, and that has a special place for me alongside GTA Vice City. GTA 5 was released in 2013 for Xbox 360 and PS3. Despite the shit show that is GTA Online and all the negative things people had to say about it, this game is one of the best selling video games ever made. But for me, what makes it so unforgettable has always been the main trio of Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. If you have been watching me for more than a week, you know that I absolutely love the narrative of this game and the hilarious interactions with the main characters and whatnot. This game is at its core, albeit highly exaggerated, is such a good representation of some friends getting into shenanigans, and this game also never fails to make us laugh in this whole process, while occasionally delivering some of the most tense and raw scenes that we have probably ever seen in Rockstar games in general. Combine that with new features, better graphics, and I can certainly see why this game is so significant, and whether you absolutely love its setting, characters, and narrative like I do, or or you live and die by GTA 4, this game was insane. And speaking of insane, it also had its big controversy because of the mission by the book with the whole torture scene and whatnot. People thought it was too brutal, and one could argue that there's another bigger controversy which I'll leave up for debate, and that is the GTA Online controversy. Basically everything surrounding GTA Online is one giant controversy, but specifically people were really pissed about the pay-to-win mechanics. And don't worry, I did save the worst for last. It's time to talk about the infamous GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and this one does not need a controversy section. This was a giant walking controversy on its own. These are the remasters of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas that were released in 2021 for multiple platforms, and upon release, people were not really happy as the games were borderline unplayable, which could be attributed to the fact that Rockstar outsourced the development of these remasters to a studio known as Grove Street Games. It does seem like these guys messed up so bad to the point that Rockstar removed them from the introduction screen of the games. Like, as of today, if you boot up the current version of these games, Grove Street Games is not listed in the introduction screen that you see. And while these days, almost 4 years after that chaotic release, these games are a far more playable experience, we can all still remember how they were being made fun of all over the internet, with the nickname GTA Defective Edition becoming extremely popular. And with that said, I want to thank you for watching this GTA video. I hope you learned something new. I hope that you found this video interesting, and until next video or stream, bye bye.